Today we're going to be talking about subtracting decimals with base 10 grids. I would like for you to go ahead and add it to your table of contents. Remember to include the date, and this objective is actually NBT 7. Okay, you're going to add that to your table of contents, include the date and the objective. The objective number is NBT 7. Okay, we're going to get started with this page from your binder, and this page is subtracting decimals with base 10 grids, and it already has our grids laid out for us. Okay, we're going to solve 2 of these problems, and you are going to solve the remainder of these problems and show them to me tomorrow. So I'm going to start with evaluating my equation. I have 0 and 8500ths minus 0 and 6900ths. This is the number I'm starting with. This is how much I have in the beginning. Okay, as with any subtraction problem, the first number is almost always how much you start with. The second number is how much you take away. Okay, how much you're going to subtract, how much you're going to take away from that total that you started with. And the end is your difference. Okay, the answer to this is your difference. Okay, so the answer to any subtraction problem is your difference. Okay, we're going to get started with this. I'm going to shade with a highlighter. If you don't have a highlighter at home, you'll need to use a light colored pencil or a very light shading with your regular pencil. But I'm going to shade in what I'm starting with. And I'm starting with 0 and 8500ths. That means 8 tenths or 8 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now if you successfully shaded in 8 rods, you should have 2 clear ones left over. Okay? And I also need to shade in 5 hundredths. So that's 5 little blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hundredths. So I shaded those in, but I can't forget what I need to take away. I need to take away 69 hundredths. So that's 6 tenths I need to take away. So I'm going to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenths. And then I have to take away 9 hundredths. I'm going to start over here with my little hundredths that are left over here that don't make a complete tenth. So I'm going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to box out what I have left. I'm going to box out what I have left. So I have 1 tenth left right here. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hundredths. So that means I have 0 and 16 hundredths. There's my 1 tenth that's left. And there are my 6 hundredths that are left. Okay, so I have 0 and 16 hundredths is my difference. Okay, we're going to do another one of these problems together. We're going to look at number 2. I have 1 whole and 64 hundredths to start with, and I'm going to take away 0 and 9 tenths. Okay. So I have 1 whole and 64 hundredths to start with, and I'm going to take away 0 and 9 tenths. I'm going to end with a difference here. That's my answer. My answer to any subtraction problem is always called my difference. So I'm going to shade in 1 whole okay, and I'm going to shade in 6 tenths, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to shade in 4 hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I literally go place value by place value when I'm shading in my original number. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start marking out my 9 tenths. Okay, I'm going to start marking from here. So I have 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths that I had to take away. Now this is what I have left. Now this one little tenth hanging out over here still counts as 1 tenth, and I'm going to put it together with these other tenths I have left and count how many total I have. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths. All right, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 hundredths. So 7 tenths and 4 hundredths, when I put those together, that actually equals 0 and 74 hundredths. Because if I were to count each of these little blocks, it would give me 74 little blocks, which is 74 hundredths. But I counted by tenths first and then by hundredths. So there's my difference in that equation. Okay, you are going to solve numbers 3, 4, and 5. Remember to shade what you start with and X out your second number. So shade in what you're starting with, and then you have to go back and X out your second number. Go place value by place value. Start in your ones place. Move to your tenths. Move to your hundredths. You're going to go place value by place value when you're shading and when you're taking away. Okay? All right, so you're going to solve those. But before you get ready to solve those, we're going to look at a word problem together. You should also have this problem in your with you, and it was in your binder. Okay, it says Elizabeth is 1 3/10 meters tall. Her little brother David is 0 78 meters tall. How much taller is Elizabeth than David? So I'm going to go ahead and write cubes down the side. Try to figure out what I need to do for this problem. I'm going to circle my numbers. I have 1 3/10. I have 0 78 hundredths. And I do have meters there, which tells me that they're the same measurement. I don't have to do any kind of crazy conversions. So I'm going to check off my C. Underline my question. My question says, how much taller is Elizabeth than David? Box my key action words. Okay? My key action words, I'm not going to deal with meters or tall and that kind of a thing. But one of my key action words is how much taller. Anytime something asks you how much larger, how much taller, how much bigger, how much, all those things, it's in essence asking you to compare these two numbers and figure out their difference. Okay? This means I need to figure out the difference between Elizabeth and David's height. Okay, figuring out the difference in Elizabeth and David's heights, I see one of my keywords there, which is difference. And difference, I know, is the answer to a subtraction problem. So this means I need to subtract their two heights. Okay, so I boxed and I even went ahead and evaluated what I needed to do. Now, the question is, do I take 0 78 hundredths and subtract 1 3/10, or do I take 1 3/10 and subtract 0 78 hundredths? Well, I always know for right now, because we're not going to deal with negative numbers, that I have to start with my larger number. So which number is larger, 1 3/10 or 0 78 hundredths? Well, this has a 1 in the ones place, and this has a 0 in the ones place. So that must mean 1 3/10 is larger. So my equation is 1 3/10 minus 0 78 hundredths. This is Elizabeth's height, and this is David's height. So I'm going to find the difference between their two heights, and that's going to tell me how much taller Elizabeth is than David. Okay, so I have 1 whole, and I have 3/10. 1, 2, 3. Now, I need to take away, that's what I started with. I need to take away 0 78 hundredths. So I'm going to start with my tenths place. There's a 7 there, so I'm going to take away 7 tenths. So I'm going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I started over here because I knew that this would be all together. I wouldn't have to try to piece together another grid. Okay, so I took away my 7/10. Now I need to take away 8/100. So I'm going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is, I'm going to box out what I'm left with. I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/10 and 2/100. 5/10 and 2/100. Well, if I put those two together, it's 0 and 52/100 meters taller. So Elizabeth is 0 and 52/100 meters taller than David, her brother. Okay. Again, how did I get 5? I had 5/10, 2/100. How did I get this number? Well, if I were to count all these little blocks, there would be 52 of those. And there's a 5 in the tenths place, and there's a 2 in the hundredths place. Okay, so 0 and 52/100 meters taller. Okay, you need to glue this page in. You need to finish your 3 problems on this page and glue this page into your notebook. Okay, silly saying for today, Aiden will be 2 on October 6th. If you're able to come in and tell me Aiden's birthday, you can earn 2 tickets.